Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sneha, and today I'm going to be doing a first impression and also a wear test for the new Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. So if that's something that interests you, please continue watching. So the new Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray is the latest product launched by Charlotte Tilbury, and this right here is the mini size they were offering for trial before the launch date, which I believe is in July or August, but I'm not sure. It's about a month from now. So if you do want to try this, I will have my referral link in the description box below so you can check that out. Also, I will have a link through which if you do end up buying Charlotte Tilbury products, you and me both can get $20 off. So feel free to use it if you'd like, but no pressure. I will have everything listed in the description box below. In terms of packaging, the mini size, which is the handbag version, comes in this plastic spray bottle with the rose gold cap. I think it's a fairly good size if you'd like to carry a setting spray in your handbag. So the setting spray, at least the trial size that I have, retails for £15 here in the UK, and you get about 35 mils. And if you do have a pro discount, it comes down to around 11 or 12 pounds if I'm not wrong, because you do get 30 to 35% off of the price. And in the US, I believe it's around $20. So first, let's look at some of the claims of the setting spray. Now, one of the first things I noticed when I did use this on my face is the fragrance. There is some kind of a rose fragrance is what I can smell, but it doesn't linger on and does dissipate away in a few seconds or so. But do keep that in mind. And when I look at the ingredient list, there is definitely fragrance or perfume added in it. And if you are sensitive to that, I would stay away from the setting spray. So it's meant to be an oil-free, lightweight, hydrating setting spray that primes and sets your makeup for up to 16 hours. And it's supposed to make your makeup look like it's just been freshly applied. And I feel like that's kind of true because as soon as I sprayed it on my face, which you will see in the demo portion, the side that I had sprayed the setting spray over the powdered face looked instantly more hydrated and moisturized and had a glow all over compared to the other half of my face where I've not used any setting spray but have set everything with powder. So they say that it's a long-lasting next generation setting spray which is inspired by the smoothing and pore blurring effects of her world-famous airbrush makeup family. So if it is part of that family, I'm assuming this is also meant to be smoothing and pore blurring. Unfortunately, I don't think I see that. At least at this stage of the day, my pores are equally visible on both sides of the face. They also go on to mention that the high-performance formula works in harmony with your complexion-enhancing products, so your foundation, concealer, bronzer, all of that, to create a weightless veil of hydrating goodness and a flawless-looking finish. It says no melting, no fading or creasing. So we'll look at that throughout the day during the wear test. It has a delicate, fresh floral scent, which is meant to give you an olfactory sensory experience of a day at the spa and make your makeup looking refreshed from red carpet to runway to real life. Now, I particularly don't care for a scent in my setting spray. I would rather not have a fragrance in my setting spray. In fact, I have the peach version of the Gerard Cosmetic setting spray, and every time I use it, peach scent is kind of what puts me off from using that product as much as I would like to. So ideally, I would have liked to see the setting spray without any fragrance. Overall, I'm getting a feeling of it being a very hydrating setting spray. So I have oily skin, so we'll see how it performs throughout the day. But now let's just jump into the demo portion where I have used the setting spray both as a primer, so I've used it sandwiched in between my skincare and the foundation. So I've used my moisturizer, which is the Embroly Slay Cream Concentrate, all over my face, then went in with my sunscreen, which is by La Roche-Posay, let that sink in for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then is when I went in with the setting spray on just one half of my face. It's the left side of my face. On screen, I'm not sure, it may flip, so it may look like it's on the right side, but you'll get the gist. And letting that dry. I don't know if I can tell any difference between the two sides. Both halves look equally hydrated, and my pores and the skin texture seem to be equally visible on both sides. Also, it does not feel tacky on the skin, which is good. And here I'm just showing you a quick demo of the spray nozzle. I feel like it's mildly forceful, but it still gives out a nice fine mist of aerosol, if that makes sense. So I really like the nozzle and I've had no issues with it so far. So here I'm back after using my Charlotte Tilbury Color Corrector, which is in the shade Tan, and I've also used the Airbrush Flawless Foundation. Just wanted to show you at this stage before we add any powder, bronzer, any of the other color products. So comparing the two halves of my face. Again, I can't tell any difference between the two sides at this stage. So, and here I'm back after finishing the rest of my makeup. If you are interested in the eye makeup look, it will be coming up later. It is using the Viseart Libertine palette. And on my lips, I have the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lipstick with a Marc Jacobs lip gloss, which I'm almost finished with. So as you can see, at this stage, I have powdered my face with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish powder on both halves of my face. But I'm going to spray the left half of my face with the setting spray again. And letting that dry. As you can see, it immediately creates a very hydrated look on the skin. And even after letting it completely air dry, it still retains that moisturized, hydrated look, which I'm kind of skeptical about. So I did go over it with a light layer of the airbrush powder, just in my T-zone. So this half of my face has no primer or setting spray, and the other half has the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray as both a primer and a setting spray. Now I just want to quickly also do a swatch test. So I'm going to swatch the airbrush foundation on the back of my arms and also one of the Charlotte Tilbury blushes. The one I have here is the Pillow Talk Intense shade. And we're going to set one arm with the new setting spray, let that air dry, and then we'll do smudge test on both the arms to see if the makeup actually stays put. Yeah, just so you know, there's nothing on my arms at all. I've just washed it for this test. Okay, so that's my swatches. Hopefully they're equal. And then just getting the setting spray. Going to spray my left arm, the arm with the watch, holding it a few inches away. Just going to let that air dry. So holding these two together. This is the arm which has the setting spray on top. You can see it's more wet looking. While this dries, let's do the swatch test on this arm. So my fingers are clean. So you can see. Let me use my index finger for the blush first. So as we rub it, it's fading away and I do get the color on my arm or my finger. Okay, clean that off and now going to rub on the foundation. I am getting transfer of the foundation on my finger. Using my index finger, first with the blush. Wow, I barely got any. Again, clean finger. Okay. I am still getting some foundation on my finger, but it's not as much compared to the hand with no setting spray. And this is what they look like after the swatch tests. You can see that the blush and the foundation are more intense on the arm with the setting spray compared to this one, especially the blush. So it's about 12 p.m. here. I'm going to come back, say around 4 p.m. to give you my first check-in. So this is what my face looks like, and this is slightly after 4 p.m. So I'm just going to come in closer. Again, this is the side which had the setting spray as a primer and as a setting spray on top. So the side with the setting spray, the side without the setting spray. I don't know if it translates on camera, but I just feel like this side of my face, which does not have any primer or setting spray, looks a little bit more oily than this side. Does that make sense? So I haven't blotted or anything other than touching up my lipstick. So I am going to blot and look for transfer. So I'm going to use two different blotting sheets for each half of my face. And the one I'm using is by Boots, so any generic blotting sheet will work. First, let's do the side which did not have the setting spray. Also, before I do that, I wanted to show you something on the nose. So this side where there is no setting spray, I feel like, especially on the nostril, the foundation seems to have not separated, but it looks dry on this nostril. And it was the case when I first applied it, so it's not that the oil has done it. I don't know if you can tell on camera, and this side, it's quite smooth, this nostril. Okay, now on to the blot test. So I'm going to look for foundation lifting off. I can definitely tell there's foundation coming off. Yeah, do you see that yellow color? You can tell what a massive difference blotting does for someone with oily skin. Okay, and it looks a lot better. I will come in a bit closer once I finish blotting the other side. So this is the sheet from this side, and as you can see, it looks like it's picked up a little bit of foundation or powder. It could be the powder as well, because I still have full coverage on my skin. Okay, let's try this side. Now keep in mind that I did powder this side on top of the setting spray. But overall you can see that I'm getting less oil compared to this half. So this is the sheet from this side of my face. So primer side, no primer side. So you can clearly tell that this half of my face, which does not have the setting spray, definitely produced more oil, and there's also more transfer of the foundation or the powder on this side compared to the sheet. Just hold this closer for you guys to check. Now I'll come in closer so you can have a better look at my skin post blotting. Again, this half of the face has the setting spray. Everything looks intact, actually on both sides. I will get a mirror and have a closer look. Yeah, I really can't tell a difference between the two sides at the 4-hour mark. I'll come back at the end of the day for my last check-in. And this is what my skin looks at a little over 9.5-hour point since spraying on the setting spray. I probably look a lot more shiny, but that's only because of the light. So if I come in closer, again, this is the side which had the setting spray. No primer, no setting spray. Again, doing the blot test. Okay, this is what my skin looks like, and that's the blotting sheet. Now let's look at the side which had the setting spray. Okay, looking at the blotting sheet. So here's the one from the side which had the setting spray. And here's the sheet which is from the other side which did not have the setting spray. And if I come in closer, this is what my skin looks like after blotting. Now I can tell a few differences between the two sides. I feel like the foundation has rubbed off of this portion of my nose, if you can tell here. It's my skin showing through, whereas it's held up pretty well on the side which had the setting spray. So that's one bonus, I guess. And secondly, even on my smile lines, although from a distance I can't tell, if I stretch my skin and make funny faces, I can tell that there's marginal settling into the smile lines just on this half of my face. So the setting spray could also be helping in preventing the creasing into my smile lines. Although with this foundation in general, from a distance I can never tell that there is creasing. It's only when I'm stretching out the skin. Only if I have to be really picky about the review. I don't think you can even tell on camera. So after blotting, it does look like it's still fresh and that I freshly applied my foundation. Everything seems to be in place. But please keep in mind that it has been a fairly gloomy day here in London. The temperature has only been around 15 to 19 degrees Celsius outside, but it is warmer indoors, especially right now under these lights. Now, talking about the formulation of the setting spray, it is free from most of the nasty forms of alcohol, which is good about this formula. The The only two alcohol derivatives that are present in this formula are phenethyl alcohol, which is like the last ingredient on the list. So it's definitely at a very low concentration. I'm going to read off of a website. It's a common aromatic oil which is considered safe to use as a humectant and as a preservative. And the second alcohol, which is I believe fourth or fifth on the list, is phenoxyethanol, which is a widely used synthetic preservative that has global approval for use in all cosmetic products. So I will add links for this information where I found online in the description box below if you'd like to read more about it. Overall, I would recommend the setting spray if you're in the market looking for a new setting spray and you do not mind the fragrance in the formula. I know a lot of people do like scented setting sprays, such as the different variations in either the Gerard Cosmetics setting spray Slay All Day, I believe, or even the Max Fix Plus, which has coconut, peach, I believe a few other ones. But I really do hope that when she releases the full size, she does have a non-scented version, just for people who are sensitive to fragrance. As you can see from the demo and the wear test, it does extend the wear of your makeup, and it still looks good at the end of the day. But I still have to compare it with the other setting sprays that I own. So I am planning to do a series where I test 2 different setting sprays on each half of my face. It would also be interesting to test out this setting spray with the foundation that's not Charlotte Tilbury to see if that extends the wear time of that foundation as well. So any foundations that I'm going to wear and test it with, I will update it in the description box below. But I would love to know if you guys are considering purchasing this or if you've tried it and what you think about it. Definitely leave it in the comment section below. By the way, I do think that the full size is going to be 100 ml and it's going to cost around $35, but I'm not completely sure. I did try and contact the customer care for it, but the line was too long and they never got back to me. So I'm not sure, but it may be around $35 point. So that's it for this review. I really hope it was helpful to you guys. And if you enjoyed it, definitely give it a like and also consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!